The AllStar app, the #1 app in the business. UFC, Bellator, One Championship, PFL, and more. Get the app right now. Link in description. Jared, man, you're going to be flying across the world, so-called enemy territory. This time it's going to be in a full arena, main event status for the title. It gets no better than that, right? It's huge.
100%. I can't wait to show the whole world what I'm about, and my whole life has been coming up to this moment. And enemy territory or not, I'm going to go out and show out and prove that I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, it's enemy territory, but the Philippines, man, they have some of the best fans, man. They're very respectful. They love fighting, man. You know, Manny Pacquiao. That's all you have to say. You know what I mean? And Team Lakay, they're massive over there. Have you been getting any messages from the fans in the Philippines?
Oh, the whole time I've been in one. I mean, I love my fellow Pinoys, and hopefully, they show me as much love as I love them.
I think they will, man. I think they will, because they haven't had a show in the Philippines since the pandemic. You know what I mean? And this was one of the locations where they would go constantly. One Championship would.
For sure. Yeah, like I said, it's gonna be in a very hostile territory. Some people are gonna hate me, some people are gonna love me, but that's how the game goes, and you just gotta look forward and get ready to just be in the octagon or in the circle.
You seem to feed off that, though. You know what I mean? Some fighters can let that get to them and overwhelm them, but you feel like it seems like you feed off that energy. It doesn't matter if it's negative or positive.
For sure, and that's how the game goes, man. It's a big energy field, and you've got to just consume what kind of energy it brings to you and use it for the fight.
Pacio, man, he has only fought twice since 2020, and it's very, very different from you. You know what I mean? You fought 3 times since you've gotten into the promotion. Do you think that will play a factor in this fight?
Joshua Pacio, he's still a young guy. So if anything, it's given him time and room to grow and actually, see how, his fight game has changed. And it has changed a lot, as you can see. I mean, from his last 2 fights with Alex Silva and Yusuke Tsuruta. So I think that both of those guys are definitely good, and he definitely showed out against both of those guys. So the Alex Silva fight, it could have went either way, but Alex is definitely one of the best jiu-jitsu practitioners in the world. So I'm not looking past Joshua, but at the end of the day, I'm here to just show out and prove that I'm the best in the world.
Yeah, those 2 fights, man, they're interesting because they're different styles. You know what I mean? Like different body types, and the Tsuruta fight, he got an incredible knockout. But Silva, that was a tight one right there, right? You could read a lot into that fight.
For sure. I think that, Joshua's wrestling abilities, he's still young. He can still grow into those wrestling abilities. So that's what's dangerous about Joshua. But, I mean, he's never faced anybody that is as fast and as strong and as mentally capable in MMA like me. So I have had years on years, and I've traveled across the world everywhere and fought some of the best in the world. So we'll see when the day comes, but I'm just prepared to this day. I mean, it's a day-by-day process, and I trust my training partners and I trust my coaches. So at the end of the day, we're going to see whose camp comes out on top.
On paper, the wrestling clearly stands out. You know what I mean? You've been wrestling for years and years and years at the highest level. And I was talking to many other coaches and fighters, and they were telling me that wrestling is something that you can't just close the gap in 6 months. It just doesn't happen that way. Striking is a little bit different. You know what I mean? Some guys can pick it up real fast and like, with boxing or Muay Thai or kickboxing or whatnot. Do you believe in that? Do you believe that, closing the gap in the wrestling and the grappling is just too hard?
I don't know, man, because I've been doing it my whole life. So I think that that Joshua's not going to be able to close the gap as quick as he thinks he's going to do it. People, they have this false impression of, yeah, I can get really good at wrestling in this certain amount of time. But like you said, it takes years and years of experience, and I've been doing this since I could walk. So we'll see if but MMA wrestling and regular wrestling are completely 2 different things. Cage wrestling, but out in the open, I'm just 10 times the wrestler as Joshua Pacio. But Josh has showed that he can get back up to his feet really quick, and he showed that he has some good jiu-jitsu skills. But I don't think he's going to be able to take the power that I can bring out to him. I know that he's known for giving up too. I'm not one to tap, right? So he's known to tap. He's tapped before. So I think that in the later, if it goes to the later rounds, then I can actually strike and possibly knock him out as well, because he's going to be so worried about the wrestling and the ground game. And when he feels me, I understand that I have a common fight with his teammate Lito Adewang, but Lito can't explain how my wrestling and how my strength is in less than 15 minutes, right? Um, and like you said, it's a fight by fight basis, and I've been training for Joshua Pacio this whole time, and that's why I've been able to so-called walk through the division. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to showing all of the people what I've been working on, and I've been literally working my ass off, and I've never tried in a camp, and I've never been in better shape for this camp like I have in the past, and that might be a scary thing.
Fighters, they're their own worst critics, right? And they nitpick at themselves, and because they're always trying to develop into a better version of themselves. Out of the 3 fights that you've had in one championship, are any of them disappointing to you, just like personally?
Every one of them, to be honest. I've only shown about 30% of what I can actually do. Um, I know that I'm capable on my feet. I know that I'm capable of submitting people, and I know that I'm capable of doing other things as well that people just haven't seen out of me. So it's just going to take time, and it's going to take fights for people to actually see how good I actually am and how hard I've actually been training. And I got to give kudos just to my teammates and my coaches just for how much they've been working on me, and, just making sure that I'm silky smooth when I go into the circle.
You're only 29, but it seems like you've been fighting forever, because we've seen you on every stage, right? If you followed, anybody has followed your career, you've competed for almost every promotion, and it's scary to say that you haven't even reached your best self yet.
No, I haven't, and I know that for a fact because I know what I'm capable of in the training and the practices, and I understand that anxiety and all of that stuff comes into play when you get into the circle. But man, I've just been doing this for a very, very long time, and when you have that much time in the circle, it's like it's just another day, and that might be pivotal for Josh when he hasn't been in there for a while. But I'm not necessarily worried about Josh. I know what he's capable of with his wushu striking, and I know what he's capable of with his submission skills. So it's nothing new to me. He might try to bring a couple of the tricks out of his hat, but not as much as I do, man. I'm a magician with this shit.
Have you focused more on your striking? Because the fight was supposed to happen in June, and now we're gonna come into December, which hopefully it happens. Have you been doing? Is it your second camp for him? How have you like managed all that?
So I mean, I fought Bo Kong in April and like late April, and they were trying to make me fight June 3rd, and I was definitely down. So that's a very small training camp, but I was ready for Joshua no matter what. I was ready for anybody at that point. Demetrius Johnson, Adriano Moraes. I'm in this game to fight month by month. And that's how I've always been since I was a kid when I was wrestling. My dad would take me to wrestling tournaments every weekend. And even though I was beaten and battered after those wrestling tournaments, I was still ready to go and face the best competition in the world. And people don't know this, but I would step up 3 to 4 weight classes just to find competition, right? And that's what I'm looking forward to do in one championship as well. And I know my capabilities, and I know what, my coaches have tried to portray onto me in the things that I'm capable of. So at the end of the day, I'm not really worried about anybody except myself and my own game plan.
Any cross training? Have you done any in the last 6 months?
A lot.
A
I
lot.
go I go everywhere around the state, and I go to Indiana, I'll go to Illinois. I'll try to, it's not even about the Joshua Pacios. It's not even about the Demetrius Johnsons. It's just I want to know how to fight everybody because everybody fights differently, right? But you can see similarities in certain styles and certain people. And I follow those people, and I'm just like, man, this guy's really good at jiu-jitsu. This guy's really good at karate. This guy's really good at kickboxing and Muay Thai. And I get all of those looks. And then by the time I'm in the circle, it's nothing new, right? So yeah, cross training is a huge thing in my mixed martial arts plethora.
How do you envision the fight?
Getting it done in the first round. Who doesn't want to envision the fight that way, right? But it's a fight. When you get hit, things change. But I know what I'm capable of, and I see the fight not going past the first or second round.
You walk around pretty light for the division, right?
3 right now, man.
Yeah.
I just training. I ate 5 times today. My metabolism is just absolutely off the chain, and people say that I'm on steroids and all that stuff, which is funny. I've been built that way since I was like 6 years old. So blame my dad, right? Blame my mom, and blame my brother for pushing me so hard as a kid. But yeah, I've been doing this since I was a kid, and I've been the same way. I don't think I've ever changed. I mean, I might be just the same size too.
Speaking of yeah, but you've looked the same the whole time, man. In the UFC, in Ryzen, you've looked the same. It's not like you've changed your body at all. You've always been ripped. You know what I mean?
The newcomers, when they and especially when I'm beating their boys and they want me to lose because I'm a really good what is that word? I'm a good arch enemy. Let's just say that I'm good at putting the promotion on and making sure that people want to hate me. They either want to see me lose or they want to see me win. It's a half and half kind of thing, and the promotion loves it, and that's the way that it needs to be for the strawweight championship to actually come to one. And it's crazy when you have somebody like me, when I've talked so much shit about Team McKay and the Filipino fighters, and then when I'm actually fighting in the Philippines now, it's huge. And I think that there's going to be a lot of fans either going to be upset or super happy, and I'm just looking forward to changing the aspect of one championship. And it's not even about disrespect, it's about promotion and trying to build the promotion. And that's what I'm looking forward to, man. I just want to have one be bigger than the UFC, be bigger than the best of the best promotions in the world. And I know that we're capable of that, and I know that we have the best fighters in the world.
They just recently started testing fighters for PEDs, man. They even busted somebody a few weeks back. How do you think that's going to change the landscape of the promotion?
It's just going to be a clean slate, right? I'm looking forward to that as well. You see all these big guys with zits on their back and stuff like that, and that just isn't fair to somebody that's really training to be the best in the world. But it doesn't really affect me at the end of the day. I don't do any drugs. I don't do anything. So it's a good thing at the end of the day.
All right, December 3rd, the One Championship strawweight title is on the line in the Philippines. It's nuts. You're going to get your chance. Jared, thank you so much, man. If you guys want to know more about Jared or the event, go to the descriptions and download the AllStar app. Appreciate the time and all the best in the fight.
Thank you, John. I appreciate you, brother.